Hello everyone, my name is AP the Weird One, and welcome to my, review or final thoughts on Digimon Story Time Stranger. I just beat the game, essentially, Thursday anyway, and so I kind of want to give my overall review / thoughts, what I think of the game, maybe where they could go, some improvements, or things that, things I dislike, things I'm a little bit, whatever on, sort of like that. I'll use the presentation for a little bit, and then maybe we'll switch over a couple things. But yeah, without further ado, let's begin. I do have a lot to say. So, before we start getting like the dislikes, I'm more neutral, and I'll probably expand on things and positives. I would say overall, I had a good time with the game. I had very fun. Prior to this, before I just do the review, I did start playing again on a hard difficulty again with Kanan. I was like, just do the female version. She's very hot actually. I was, especially in the swimsuit outfit. I'm like, you can see a little bit of her butt crack. She's really hot. And also like Dan. Dan definitely seems like the more like the main character of the story, given spoilers for what he is and everything, which we'll go over to, and just kind of the short story preview animation just leads me to believe that. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. We'll get into my bigger complaints and everything. Without further ado, let's go into negatives. So, so the first thing is the Type A and Type B situation, where you choose your character. It's in the settings, whether you want to be girl or male. I just wish this was just Agent A and Agent B, because given the story, it's not 100% deal breaker. And the appearance thing, I'm like, you could say male or female, or just keep it as is. I just wish it was Agent A and Agent B, given the story, where the thing's going, like explanations. I just wish that was the case, rather than this Type A, Type B. This feels very American left-leaning, so to speak. The price, the game is definitely worth its bucks. I just think the price should be $60, and maybe the Ultimate Edition should have been $100. Not the end of the deal breaker, but I definitely think you should get on sale. I will talk about the DLC at the very end, what I think you should purchase, what I think the ones you should do. The DLC, the Grinder Dungeons, the ones that, you can go for as like the supply, the material, the money, and the experience points. Especially just the experience points, I think you could just say that for the end, like an end game dungeon. You don't really need to have it like it's a pay to win, and it should just been in the game automatically, just something like an end game reward. Charging $8 or so, close to, or like $7 to $8 is way too expensive. Like, wow, especially considering you do not need money and the material, unless you're just going crazy with making stuff for your Digifarm, which I will get into a little bit of that. Something I forgot to write down, but yeah, I think it's a little bit too much. And like in terms of grinding, gets bad at the very end. Say if you want higher levels for like a boss fight or something, but other than that, like the grind's not terrible. The anime music, that's way too much. If you actually owned it, like you could have it on your computer, or you could you get a digital purchase, like if you did the PlayStation version and own it, I would say okay, that's fine, because you get like a big soundtrack. But for just in game, especially considering if like you're streaming or making videos, that could be easily copyrighted. And I would also even extend this to the Hacker's Memory version as well, the Cyber Sleuth music. And one thing I did find is that the older music doesn't fit the game. Like, it's done by the same person, but I just think the music from the Cyber Sleuth games doesn't necessarily jive with the with Time Stranger. Now the theme for the Royal Knights is in the game, and it's like you don't really need to change that. I'm like, all right, that's fine. It's for the Royal Knights for specific points, so that's all right. But I think the rest of the music, like even some of my more favorite tracks, like the end credits theme, it doesn't fit the game. And the game's music is good on its own. Like, it doesn't need it, and we'll discuss that. One of the things I'm a little bit disappointed about, no in-game costumes for Nori. Like, that's all has to be all DLC. And like, I wanted to see better looks at her boobs and feet. You don't get to see that. Like the only feet you get to see is the female character, and then of course a certain roster of Digimon. But Inori looks good looking. Like, why not? Like, and the thing I find funny is there's no like beach scene, or like hot spring scene. That would have been like funny to have like a bonus, because we'll get into. But there is just a lot of female characters, and it would have been kind of funny. My personal standpoint is the roster is barely out of Digimon's Data Squad / Savers. I don't have a photographic memory of when every Digimon was created, but I can recognize, like, okay, what are some of the newer ones. Here's the thing, with the original Cyber Sleuth, we just kind of got out of, even Hacker's Memory, we just got out of, like, Crosswords was the newest season, and then we, of course, had Abley Monsters, and then we also had Digimon Tri. So it's like, that's not the biggest in the world, but the fact that we don't have Digimon from Digimon Tri, or even a lot of the Hackers Digimon Crosswords Digimon. Hell, there's even new Digimon that got added to Digimon Adventure 2020, which I really think should have been there. Like, there's some that are like old Digimon that didn't get included. Like, I really wish Gulmon was in this game. It would have made a good mega for Devimon. Like, it would have been cool line for that. I'm like, it just seemed like we were missing a lot of like a whole bunch of Digimon. It just felt very outdated. Now, this is not going to affect from people who are new to Digimon, which I want to discuss a little bit. But I just felt like the roster was just very outdated. I mean, you had 8 years, and the earliest Digimon, like the latest, was like the 2020, which you had the Bond forms. It's like, couldn't you just push that to like the end of 2020, like 2020? I mean, you still had roughly 5 years, or you could have worked on it sooner. It seems so weird not to have like some more Crosswords Digimon. That's the thing that also bugs me. Like, why couldn't you had more from them? More new Digimon. So I'll be a little bit more specific with them. There is no Mega that fits Arukeniamon. The closest Parasitemon, but that's not in the game. I think we should have something that's a little bit more humanoid-esque, a little bit more spider, that would fit perfectly with Arukeniamon. I have some. So there's none of that. Master Blitmon, that was a nice new addition. The problem was it didn't have Mega. The best you could say is like Gundramon, but I feel like that's you Digimon for more like dragons based. It's a cool addition. I absolutely love it. But I just like, why not have something your own Mega version? And I think if you had something that was a bit generic, you could do it for something like the Bold Mom, or I think like Bold Mom, which originally did evolve from that. Maybe like an alternate Mega for Andromon potentially. I feel like they needed another machine type Digimon that was like either Data or Vaccine that fit along lines. Also, new Seedramon Mega. That is also another big contention. We have 3 Seedramon Ultimates, and we only have 1 non-X antibody Mega. Or technically, we do have 2 Seedramon Megas. One that's X antibody, but it's like it fits with the normal Giga Seedramon fits with the normal X antibody line. It's not something else. And it's like, why not add a new Seedramon Mega? Like, that's something I wish it could happen. I'm trying to think. I think there's probably a few other new Digimon that could have been added, but those are my biggest wants, I would believe. What I have more problems with is like the content. Like, there's going to be DLC, which I will discuss, but like evolution, like Tapirmon can't become Mammothmon, but he can become Skull Mammothmon through very means. Although I explained this in an earlier video. 90% of his routes all lead to Blue Marimon, and Blue Marimon only has like 2 Megas. One of which is, from the top of my head, is Marsmon, and the other one is somebody else to my recollection. But he only has like 2 Megas, and I'm fine with that. But the fact that Tapirmon could get access to Blue Marimon so easily, and it's like, it's not even worth it to go there. Actually, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if Grindsource is actually... see if they're working. That was a major thing. Blue Marimon, what do you become? Oh, Pheromon. Which, I mean, Pheromon is fine. Yeah, Pheromon is cool, but I'm like, I wish you had more to deal with. Lilamon cannot become Lotusmon. That really sucked. Then Pumpkmon cannot become anything male oriented. I mean, yes, Digimon are genderless, but I would like something that was male coded, so to speak. Or Electmon can't become Leomon. That bugged me big time when I was trying to get to get the Aegiomon. That irritated me. Lanamon and Calamar did not have a Mega. That's another thing. Like I said, one thing I'll discuss. I understand like they allows you to play with your favorite Digimon, but the fact that it doesn't have like something that would be like equivalent to a Mega or whatever, like Lanamon is like champion, Calamar's kind of a bit like ultimate, even though there are mode changes in the game. It felt like lackluster, and I think you could have been doing Agent Mermaidmon or made a new Digimon as well. That's another thing they could have done. They're not the same as Armors. Bacchusmon, I also say like I said, more Digimon like Noble Pumpkin. Like there's a lackluster. Bacchusmon can't mode change in battle, and the only reason I bring this up is that in the game it does happen during the story, but not elsewhere. And then, so I find it weird. Not every Digimon who can mode change does it during battle, but that one seemed a bit weird considering they showed off in the story and you can't do it normally. So that's one weird thing. The items needed for light and fire hybrids, I feel like if you at least bought one of them, that you should be able to purchase in the in between theater, because I didn't know the items that you needed to get the hybrids. And when I got them, I could get the beast spirits, but I couldn't get the human spirits, so I was left out of them until like way later, like at the point the pack, like by the time I had like ultimates, like it was near the time I could get megas. It was right before the Callusmon fight, so that's like the next time I could get them. And then also I'll say more insect megas. Like the only megas that you had are Hercules Gabuterimon, and I guess Grand Koagamon, and then Tyrant Kabuterimon, which they downgraded Tyrant Kabuterimon. I understand the card game he could digivolve from, in other sources he could digivolve from like Ultimate as well. He was never really originally had that, but the fact that he can't, like, I wish he could digivolve from Hercules Gabuterimon. You could have multiple ways of doing it. Like you could have the easy way or the normal way. I don't know why you couldn't do that. Same with Chaosdramon. Chaosdramon also got a downgrade in abilities. Like in Cyber Sleuth, he had 2 attacks. This game he only has 1. I'm like, oh, really? That bummed me out. That was another big bummer. I did not like it as well. But yeah, more Insect Megas. I think that's kind of like the more my biggest complaints. The Digimon roster is what I don't like them, is what I have the biggest problem with. I also wish Surfymon was in the game. That's another Digimon. I guess we could also go discuss the DLC. From what I've gathered, they could change this. This is not 100% guaranteed, but the fact that we have so many different Omnimons coming is what I have to is why I have a bit. It irritates me. Like, I don't mind Alter S coming. All right, fine. But Merciful Mode, the Alter B, then we have the Alter. I think it's on Zolt to defeat. I'm like, why do you need all those? Now, the X Antibody Digimon, like X Antibody Omnimon, I have no problem with that. I actually am curious to what those are going to do, because I want to see those in game. I want to see what their models are like, because if one of the next games they make is an X Antibody game, I am 100% all for that. I just want to see what those models look like. And of course, they get the Bonchos, which I think the Bonchos should have been in the game in the first place. We have Jewel Beamon, but no Boncho Stingmon. I'm like, really? I think like more Jagras Digimon should have been there. Like I wish Idris Dramon, who else? A Volta Baltamon or Volta Baltamon. I wish he was in the game as well. I think every game, well, almost every Digimon from Digimon Survive should have been in the game. I just wish there was more. And the evolutionary lines also irritate me as well. Some of their weird ones. But those are my biggest complaints. Next up, we'll go to neutral. AGO1 costumes. Cool that it's like they're not in the game, but cool that you can buy them. They're a nice thought. The difficulty. Alright. For me, at least, I did not find the game super difficult outside a various... in terms of main story bosses, we'll discuss that. But I didn't think the difficulty was that... I didn't think the game was... On hard mode was not that great. Outside of, say, Paramon. Titanmon, I probably, if I had more brains, I probably could have beat that a little bit more easy, have more vaccines. And I also learned to attack reflect right at that boss fight. So if I had any symptom. Also, there is also the injury status, which prevents you from healing. That was something I was not aware of. So I've been a little bit more cautious of that. I'm like, okay, I would have planned a bit better. Junomon, I never fought in hard mode. I accidentally fought it in balance mode. I still thought it was hard. But I still think it was difficult. If I had some little bit more brains, I think I probably could have beaten it no problem. That's just me. Riding Digimon, I'm cool that they're behind you, but I'm not there. No multiplayer. Here's the thing. I think multiplayer could be implemented in this game. It's not a huge deal breaker. It's not, but I could see the potential. The human characters, they were okay for me. I think none of them I really fell in love with per se. They were alright. Inori and then Asuna, who we can discuss. And then the kind of overarching story with the human characters. It was an okay story. This game doesn't have the magic for me. Like, because I play like Cyber Sleuth, like when I played, I'm like, oh my god, this game is so good. I'm absolutely in love with it. This does not have that magic for me. Like, okay, I saw that it was gonna be good. Cyber Sleuth hit for me. Stat boost items are like the X items in the game. Those they're from Cyber Sleuth, but they're back in the game. I never used them really, which was kind of weird. Actually, I thought about a couple of other negatives. The final boss fight, I felt was very on rails. I don't think that was very challenging. It could have been because I had a really good strong level, but I don't think it was that difficult to fight. Another thing I found neutral was the Digifarm. I don't like. That's not a terrible thing. I'm like, if you want to customize and everything, cool. It's there. I wasn't super overly in love with it. I will say I misunderstood the place with the blacksmith, the Zunomon. I'm gonna put that in the positive category. There is some nice benefits, but I thought like, okay, that's nice overall. You make it beautiful. I kind of wish it was more like Animal Crossing. Like every Digimon had like a room or something, like kind of like Cyber Sleuth, like you do. Like you have 10 individual rooms and you just decorate it, make it look nice. I kind of wish it was that, but this big overworld everything. Okay. I know some people were complaining about like when it becomes available, the in-between room. I never had that issue. It came exactly where I wanted to be. Like it had really good timing, which we will have to get into. Because the in-between theater came exactly when I needed it to be. It wasn't completely sporadically random. But I think that's overall for neutral. Let's go to positives. The story is Digimon centered, and the final boss is a Digimon, which I will show off. I absolutely love this. The human characters play a very minimalist role in it. It's primarily about the Digimon. It is the establishment of the Olympus 12. The final boss, like I guess, is a Digimon. I'm going to discuss that at the very end as well. Discuss a little bit about that. But it was just very Digimon centered. The humans played very little role. I mean, they did have their parts, but it was just primarily mainly about Digimon. It was a Digimon story. I really enjoyed it. I do find it funny that the Kunluns, the Shambhala Digimon, are already established, but the Olympus 12 are not. Now, here's the thing. That makes complete sense given how things have been going this year. Like, okay, we get a story, we get a game about the Olympus 12. Like, cool. Then in June, they dropped the Kunlun, the Shambhala region, everything. I'm like, and we know everything. I'm like, here's the thing. We knew about the Olympus 12 members, but they weren't established yet. We had one game with the Kunlun, with the Shambhala region. Like, oh yeah, we have all the members. We know everything. It's all set in stone. I just find that funny because it's true to life for us in the real world. Like, yeah, of course everything is established over there. I think it's like more like an ancient one. I'm thinking Shambhala was like maybe like the first digital world or like the second one, based on lore. I'm very curious to where that's going to go. But and then. I enjoyed the human forms of the host computers. I wish Yeagerso looked more like her female counterpart in Digimon Next. Who is that? Who is I think it's Michaela Karn. Hold on. Yeah, I'll bring it. I'm gonna bring up a separate wiki. Where is he? It's who is it? Mikihara Norin. I wish she looked more like this for him. Just because she looks so sweet and nice and everything. She has a really good design. Unfortunately, she's not that way in the game. Since we're actually here, we can bring that up. This is Yeagerso. She looks fine. I just think this is better waifu material. This is too. Listen, if people have their lolly, they love their lollies and everything. But me, I like a little bit more adultish looking lolly. This is too childlike, personally. Listen, I understand it's a fictional character, but listen. They don't compare. These don't compare. But on the plus side, go. On the plus side, the host computers are not dicks in this game. I like the fact that they see this as a threat. They're willing to help out. They're nice this time. Now, I know we don't get too much of a personality from Homeros, but I think she does have a little bit of personality. She's a venture believer. She's like, because the protagonist is a digital life form, though more human, I think. Like it goes beyond. It's an upgraded version of a digital life form. Not as say, I'm going to reference the series from Dimension W, but like Mew from Dimension W, like her ultimate form, like your character's in between that. Like she's not godlike, but she's still like he's still pretty cool. He's very human-esque. Man, they just created a full-fledged human. I don't know. He just seems like he's a digital life form, but a little bit upgraded. So I like her personality. The protagonist, what he is, I appreciate it as well. I like that it's still grounded in Digimon lore. Also, I appreciate the final boss is also not a digital life form, but I mean, this is an origin story, so it has to kind of make sense. I love the environment and the boss battles. I mean, they looked really cool. When you fought them, they looked really nice. The cities going into towns, the music. I do like the roster of new Digimon added. Don't get me wrong. Probably the best new one is Great Grizzlymon. That in which we saw this. I saw this morning. I'm recording this Friday night. So that's probably the better new one. The funnier ones are the plus ones. Those are funny. Then the Roll the Knights, because the Roll Knights are very limited, they just come at the very end. I like that. They're like, I appreciate the Roll Knights are not front center, but they do have an important purpose. I do like that. The music, love the music. The life improvements from Cyber Sleuth. So I'll get into a little bit. Pertains to down here, but we learn Digimon learn 4 moves. They can swap out with them. You have 6 party members, which I think also the knock against Pokemon. I kind of think that it actually makes the game a little bit more difficult and allows you to have to strategize. I like the smaller number anyway, but I like the training room. So Digimon still have to acquire a certain amount of stats and everything, but you can use the farm to boost them. I do like that a lot. The personalities, I can see the benefit of them, although they never came up as an importance unless I was digivolving or I was fusing. So, but other than that, I think they're cool. They do have like some special abilities per 4 squares, which is very cool. Some of them are very broken, but I do also like that as well. It's very nice. Also, if you do with the skill tree and everything, you can find some like rare ones. The rare personalities is nice, but by the time you're getting endgame, I don't know if it's really necessary. I don't know. All right, this is female lead. This is more funny not, but Inori, let's see, hold on, let me get to, you have, Inori Misono, Hiroko, female, Simmons, Monica, I guess Mirai, sort of, somewhat, Asuna, even the Digimon, primarily all of them are female characters. The guys barely get any, are barely part of it. The next best one is Kyoko Mizono, and then I think there's also Dr. Kuga, who you fight. That's actually a boss fight. That's a reference to Alien. It's a reference to Alien, which is also a reference to a female character because she's so that's also very cool. And the female Digimon have a very big importance between Minervamon, Dianamon, Anjunamon. Some would say Ceresmon and or pre-evolution. Who is it? Sirenmon. I don't know. It seemed like there's a lot of females that are very important to the game, and the males just kind of take a bit of a backseat. I just find that funny. Even you talk about the host computers, it's female oriented, and if you have Kanan, it's even more female led. I just find that just very funny is all. But another thing, I do like the fact that Ankylomon becomes Brachiomon. That's really cool. I adore that. The final boss, despite it being very cool, on rails, it's still a very cool moment to see. It feels like a final boss. And the most on rail fight, which happens with the created machine, the Giant Slayer, that is still very cool. And the good music, I'm like, oh yeah, I really like that. And I also appreciate the fact that the Titans are not completely 100% evil. There's also homeostasis in the game. It's mentioned at least when the final boss, Chronomon, he learns through the Akasha records. Everything has been on is already predetermined. Everything. I thought at first it was Homeros, but then I'm like, oh, Homeros is found in Gear Force. I'm like, okay. They don't flat out say the name of it, I believe, unless I could have been wrong. But I appreciate. That's another thing I still like. We got back to more Digimon lore. They're expanding on it a little bit here and there. All right, I think that the other final thing is that people are coming around to Digimon. I saw a whole bunch of people, YouTubers, and everybody was like, "Man, Digimon looks. This new monster games came out. It looks so much better. The timing was perfect." listen, I like Pokemon and Digimon, but Digimon has been an absolute warpath of amazing between the anime, the products they've released in the card game. They have been on a golden streak. Like, this has been their revival moment to a big time. And the fact that I like the fact that so many people are getting into it. I know there's people that are got the video game, they're playing the card game, and etc. It's like it feels very nice that Digimon is finally being recognized, and people are having a good time with it. It's they're finding it to be challenging, although, like I said, I don't find the game challenging because I've beaten Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory on hard mode a couple of times. Like the final boss on Hacker's Memory on hard mode is difficult. Like that game almost beat my ass. Like when I played it for my own personal playthrough. So I don't know. So I don't find this game super difficult. There are difficult moments, don't get me wrong, and I appreciate that for them. I think the final thing I was going to say that seemed a bit negative, that you could get megas a little bit earlier, but then like when you actually do it, and like there's still a lot of times where you can use the megas for like the post game, like the hard difficulties, but I think I would have liked the new mega to be after around the time you lose Aegiomon, when you're in when you have to go save Bacchusmon. I think that would have been a good time, but where it does happen, I'm like, it's not the end of the world. I think I probably liked it a little bit sooner, but that's just me. So overall, I would still get this in like 8.5 out of 10 or so. Fantastic game. It's definitely a good background game to play while you're watching some other live stream or everything. It's a good time. It's a fantastic game. Best Digimon game. Oh, actually, I could mention the side games, the little outer dungeon stuff. The racing one I don't mind, except for perfects. The Protect the Meat, the hardest one. Everything else is fine. I do find that the outer dungeon fights against like the Bond forms, Imperial Dramon Dragon mode, and even this was still even a little bit difficult, but Apocalypse still felt fairly easy. I don't know, maybe I was just super high level and everything, but I didn't find that fight really hard. And the Imperial Dramon Dragon mode felt weird considering you battle Paladin mode very early on. So I'm like, and if it added modes change to fighter mode, I would have liked it better. I also like the Titans, the Titans that are in the game. I do. If you go to Plutomon's garden, like the Dark Garden in present day, great place to go. Absolutely fantastic. So that was my final thoughts. Where do they go next? What could they do? I wouldn't mind seeing another game in this world. I think it's still a very strong possibility. Because we have the time year jump. I think there's some improvements. You could, the organization that Asuna is part of, the Public Security Mystery Department. I think you could have a character be in there and work like on site, and you could even have the you could have like a time jump like after the 8 years or something. I think you could work that into the game. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing another game in the story from an alternate perspective. I think there's some room to do it. If not, maybe I had an idea. I'll show you what I was thinking about, because I saw one post on X saying that I thought Digimon was it was about the bonds between Digimon, and that is true, and not like a monster raising franchise, but that's not true. Digimon started as a monster taming series with the V pits and everything. Here was where I was thinking: a more down to earth RPG, something like Dragon Quest 11. That's what I was thinking of. But the the 02 Digimon, they don't have full evolution lines for their free type Digimon. They're all Jagras based. I'm like, well, all of them except for Vmon, but Wormmon, but we'll discuss that. Here was my thought process. I was thinking the main protagonist would have 3 Digimon partners, Vmon, Betamon, because I was thinking like keeping a Reptilian, and then Kotimon, but all of them stick to their lines, like Vaccine, Virus, Data, and then you have the other ones who maybe they start off like this is their evolutionary line. So you have Hawkmon becoming Kilomon, then Vulturemon, and then Ornusmon, just to have a little bit of variety, make it like vaccine based. Then you have Armadillomon becomes Kilomon, then Brachiomon, and then I was thinking Canadramon, like a little bit different pace than Ultimate Brachiomon. And then you have these. And you could, like with Vidramon, you could do Arrow Vidramon, or Reverse Vidramon, or even Goldramon. That's another thing I was thinking of. I just didn't put it down there just in case. Then maybe like that's the first half of the story, and the next part is that you get the new evolutionary lines, but then you get some new family members. You get someone who's got, I was thinking your like old man would have like a Snow Agumon, Burgermon, and then maybe a Tutumon or Chuchumon. Maybe like a villain joins you, and then maybe you have like a Fairymon. That's kind of what I was thinking of. Like a more traditional RPG, maybe they could have like they could digivolve into many other stuff, but that was my thought process where they could go for another game. Something I was thinking about. But anyway, I've rambled long enough. Hopefully you have a wonderful day. Catch you guys. I'm not sure when the next Digimon. I know there's Digimon Liberator this week, as I'm going to have this come on Sunday. My overall thoughts, but yeah, I enjoyed Digimon Story Time Stranger, an absolute blast. Great to have it played it, and I'm glad so many people are having enjoy. If you haven't got a chance, pick it up. Probably preferably on sale. Oh, I was going to mention the DLC. What DLC you should buy. Yeah, that was the one thing I want to discuss. So, if you're going to buy this game, which version do you buy? Like, what should you do? Off the bat, I would do the costume pack potentially. I would do the costume public safety bureau, and then the pre-order bonus. The PlayStation version was a little bit nicer with the pre-order bonus, and then they combine it with the costume public safety bureau and special set. That I ever liked. The Cyber Sleuth music, I would kick out. The season pass, I would wait to see what that goes. So, relatively, you're spending about 24. I guess you could do the Ultimate Edition and maybe the pre-order bonus, but you're about paying the price. I would just personally wait for it on sale. Like, I like this game, but it's you could wait for it. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day. Hopefully you enjoy my review / rambling. I'll catch you guys next time. The final bit is I did try out the Olympus 12 member fight on casual. That is a definitely difficult one. But regardless, I had an overall great time. And I'll probably do the fight at some point. Anyway, catch you guys next time. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Have a wonderful Sunday. I forgot something. I forgot about this boss fight. Whoopsie daisy. This is the final boss of the Chronomon. So this apparently is Chronomon Robo in the data files, but to me this is like Chronomon like Wrath mode, I believe. But it's more bigger and everything. Like this would scream Chronomon like true form. I'm curious how they're gonna implement this in the reference book. Because like I think there's like you could have a holy mode and then the wrath mode be like on true forms versions. I don't know. I'm curious to how they're gonna add to the reference book. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. I forgot to mention this. In total, what I thought of this form, it's still very cool looking. But anyway. Now I'm ending.